Hello everyone, I'm looking at the ZTE Lever, also known as the ZTE Z936L. This is a new phablet from Straight Talk. It's actually the biggest device that Straight Talk has put out to date. And I just want to do a quick rundown, talk to you a little bit about some of the basic specs, look at overall design of this device. One of the first things that drew my attention is the fact that the screen sits on the actual body of the phone. So I don't know if that translates well in the video, but this is a very unique way of doing it. So the device is completely sealed and the screen is actually sort of sitting on top. So you probably won't be able to open this without disconnecting the screen from the body. And you can see that happens all the way around the device. So it's a unique sort of layout. The back of the phone has sort of a rubber finish to it. And again, like I said, it is sealed. The power button that is on the right has sort of a texture to it, just like the rocker on the left. I don't know if you could see that, but when I say texture, just think of sort of like fingerprints, like these little lines on the rocker, sort of to add more grip. And even though it's a CDMA phone for Verizon that has LTE, it uses this thing. You might have seen it if you have an iPhone or if you have any phone that uses a nano SIM. This actually uses a micro SIM, but you need this in order to open the SIM chamber. It's got these little holes. So you need this in order to get at the SIM chamber and also to open the chamber that the micro SD card goes into. So if you see that there, not something that you can open. If you happen to lose this, they're very inexpensive on eBay, or you can use a thumbtack just to put into that little slot. You push into it, and then it pops open the SIM holder and the micro SD card holder. So you see those two? All right, so a little bit more about this device. Again, it's a phablet. It's a 6-inch screen. It's 6.5 inches in height and 3.27 inches in width. So if you remember the Alcatel One Touch Pop Mega, which I'm putting next to it, this one's actually slightly bigger than it. Keep in mind that the One Touch Pop Mega has rounded edges, so it sort of gives it a dwarfed look because of the cornered edges that the ZTE Lever has. So this is completely rectangular, while this has the cornered edges, and it gives it a different feel. Both of these phones have the same screen size. So you can see, if I put them neck and neck like that, the same screen size, but when you look at them overall, basically you can tell that there's a difference in size. And, you know, if you're like a lot of people that are starting to like these phablets, then either of these phones will do, because both of them are really gigantic. The ZTE Lever weighs 5.99 ounces. It's completely black. Actually, I take it back. The physical size is 6 inches of the screen, like I was saying. So that's correct. Resolution-wise, I'm actually more impressed with the resolution of the ZTE Lever, because it is, unfortunately, the battery's dead on this guy. It's a 720 by 1280, so it's completely higher definition than the One Touch Pop Mega, and it's got a pretty strong screen on it. I think it has Gorilla Glass, but I'm not sure if it does. I'm going to confirm that and put a note. It's running Android 4.4 KitKat. It's got a very, very impressive camera. Let's go ahead and look at this camera. It's an 8-megapixel camera. And not just does it have a nice looking camera, but it's got some really cool features. I was messing around with this earlier, It's got something called Fun, where you can take, see if you can see that there. It's got a smile option, so if you're pointing at someone and they happen to smile, then the camera will shoot, or the picture will shoot, excuse me. It's got this thing called special effects, and real time you get to see the different special effects that you can use. So there's 9 total special effects, including this mosaic, which sort of pixelates the picture. If you're into that kind of thing, then you have the fisheye, which is also a pretty neat effect. If you want to get sort of a fisheye look, see how it gives it that round look. So that's called Fun. Then you have multi-exposure. If you want to create sort of like a sort of an interesting look here, you can get multi-exposure, where basically you take the first picture. Let me move this out here so you can see it. And then you take a second picture, either just below it. You see how that's creating sort of a multi-exposure look? And I mean, there's so many cool things that you can do with that. You put it on, you put someone's head, and then you could put a caption, whatever. You can change backgrounds. You can have collages. You can do all kinds of things. So I was really impressed with the camera. You can also just go into HDR mode, or you can do a panoramic picture, where basically you could take an entire landscape in one picture, and you can frame it. You can basically share it, and you have, more than you would with a normal picture. So overall, I'm pretty impressed with this device because of the camera. I'm also impressed because of the resolution of the screen. The size of it is sheer mammoth, in my opinion. There's a lot of devices that have come out that are a lot smaller, but this one basically takes the cake. Again, this is the Pop Mega, which everyone thought was a monster. So this one doesn't quite dwarf it in size, but it does give it a difference. It's a little bigger, is what I'm saying. It's a quad-core 1.2 gigahertz processor. So even though it's a 1.2 gigahertz processor, the fact that it's quad-core makes it more efficient. I would have liked if it were a little more powerful from a processing speed-wise, but overall, I'm not too disappointed with it. The battery, I wouldn't expect anything less. It's a 3200 milliamp battery, so that's going to last you a while. It's got a 4x digital zoom, 8 megapixel rear camera, and a 2 megapixel front-facing camera. You can also apply the smile feature when you're taking a selfie on the front-facing. So as soon as you smile, it's going to snap a photo. It comes with 2 gigabytes of RAM internal memory, 16 gigabytes of ROM, but I always recommend that you put a 32 gig SD card. It is CDMA, like I said, with Verizon LTE. So like I showed you earlier, you're going to need this little tool in order to be able to access the SD card and the SIM card and the micro SD card. That comes with it. So, I mean, overall, I'm pretty impressed with this device. It doesn't weigh that much, 5.99 ounces, depending on how you feel about it. Let's go ahead and look at a little bit more about what it has. You have a file manager. You have a flashlight that I always think is a great thing to have handy. You have a sound recorder built in. You have a voice dialer. And then you have this task manager to sort of close out any running apps that you're not, that you don't want to use up resources, and it tells you how much memory it's taken up. So you can always close that out. You can close everything, and that's to help save battery. So again, this was the very quick review for the ZTE Lever, also known as the Z936L. I would have done this review sooner, but to find that is easier than having to go to Walmart. So if you're interested in picking this up, I'll put some links on the video below, or excuse me, on the area below. And please go ahead and subscribe. Pretty soon I'm going to have a video where I compare both of these guys, and I do some, and I'm very appreciative. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe, and you have a great day.